What if I told you that people who cry easily are often among the strongest people you'll ever meet? Most of us grow up hearing the same message: don't cry, be tough, stay strong. Over time, tears become associated with weakness, and emotional people are often judged as fragile or overly sensitive. But modern psychology paints a completely different picture. People who cry easily are not necessarily weaker than everyone else. In many cases, they simply experience emotions more deeply. Their minds process feelings with greater intensity, allowing them to connect with the world in ways that others may never fully understand. Think about the last time you watched an emotional movie. Some people may have felt sad for a moment and moved on. Others may have found themselves fighting back tears. The difference isn't always about the situation itself. It's about how the brain interprets and responds to emotional information. Psychologists believe that one of the biggest reasons people cry easily is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share another person's feelings. Highly empathetic individuals don't just observe emotions, they absorb them. When they see someone suffering, they imagine what that experience feels like. When they hear a heartbreaking story, they emotionally step into that person's shoes. Because of this, their emotional reactions are often stronger. A stranger's pain can affect them deeply. A touching act of kindness can bring tears to their eyes. Even fictional characters can trigger genuine emotional responses because their brains become fully invested in the emotional experience. To an outside observer, these reactions may seem excessive. But inside the mind, something remarkable is happening. Their brain is creating a powerful emotional connection, allowing them to experience life through a much wider emotional lens. Another hidden reason people cry easily is that they are often more emotionally aware than average. Most people experience emotions without fully examining them. They feel sadness, frustration, or joy, but quickly move on to the next distraction. Emotionally aware individuals operate differently. They notice subtle emotional changes within themselves. They recognize feelings as they happen. They pay attention to emotional signals that many others ignore. This heightened awareness means they rarely disconnect from what they feel. Instead of pushing emotions aside, they acknowledge them. And when emotions become intense enough, tears naturally follow. Interestingly, psychologists have found that suppressing emotions can create stress inside the mind. Many people spend years trying to hide sadness, disappointment, or vulnerability. They build emotional walls and convince themselves that showing emotion is a sign of weakness. But buried emotions rarely disappear. They remain beneath the surface, influencing thoughts, behavior, and mental well-being. People who cry easily often release emotions instead of storing them. Their tears become a natural outlet, helping them process difficult experiences rather than carrying emotional weight for years. This doesn't mean they enjoy feeling emotional. It simply means their minds are more willing to express what is happening internally. There's also another psychological factor that few people talk about: memory. Human emotions are deeply connected to past experiences. A simple conversation, a song, a photograph, or even a familiar smell can awaken memories that have been stored for years. When this happens, people aren't always reacting to the present moment alone. They're responding to layers of emotional experiences connected to their past. A scene about family may remind someone of a loved one they lost. A story about struggle may awaken memories of their own hardships. A moment of kindness may remind them of a person who once changed their life. While others only see the event happening in front of them, emotionally sensitive people often experience a flood of memories and feelings all at once. And that's why their tears can appear sudden or unexpected. What seems like a small emotional reaction on the surface is often connected to something much deeper beneath it. The fascinating truth is that people who cry easily aren't simply feeling more emotion. They're processing more meaning. They're noticing emotional details others overlook, forming stronger human connections, and experiencing life with a level of depth that many people never fully reach. And as researchers continue studying emotional sensitivity, they're discovering that these tears may reveal something even more surprising about intelligence, relationships, and the way emotionally strong people navigate the world. One of the most surprising discoveries in psychology is that emotional sensitivity is often linked to emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions, both your own and those of others. People who cry easily are frequently more connected to their emotional world. They don't always ignore what they feel or pretend emotions don't exist. Instead, they experience them, process them, and learn from them. This emotional awareness often helps them build deeper relationships. Friends, family members, and partners may feel more understood in their presence because emotionally sensitive people tend to listen carefully and respond with genuine compassion. Of course, this sensitivity comes with challenges. People who cry easily are often misunderstood. Society tends to admire emotional control while viewing visible emotion as weakness. As a result, many sensitive individuals spend years feeling embarrassed about their tears. They apologize for crying, hide their emotions, or try to change who they are. But psychology suggests that emotional sensitivity is not something that needs to be fixed. Like any personality trait, it has strengths and weaknesses. The same sensitivity that causes tears can also create kindness, creativity, empathy, and strong human connections. Many artists, writers, counselors, teachers, and caregivers possess high emotional sensitivity because it allows them to understand people on a deeper level. In a world where many people struggle to express their feelings, emotionally sensitive individuals often have the courage to be vulnerable. And vulnerability is not weakness. In fact, some psychologists argue that vulnerability requires more strength than emotional suppression. It takes courage to feel sadness without running from it. It takes courage to care deeply about people, even when caring can lead to pain. The truth is that tears are not always a sign that someone is breaking. Sometimes they are a sign that someone is healing. Sometimes they are evidence of empathy. Sometimes they are proof that a person still has the ability to feel deeply in a world that often encourages emotional distance. So the next time you meet someone who cries easily, don't assume they are weak. You may be looking at someone with a highly empathetic mind, a deep emotional awareness, and an extraordinary ability to connect with others. And if you're the person who cries easily, remember this: your tears do not define your weakness. They may reveal your humanity. Because behind every tear is a story, a memory, a connection, or an emotion that mattered enough to be felt. And perhaps the real strength isn't learning how to stop crying. Perhaps the real strength is allowing yourself to feel even when the world tells you not to. After all, the people who feel deeply are often the people who love deeply, care deeply, and understand others deeply. And in the end, that may be one of the most powerful psychological traits a human being can possess.